So I am here with Zachery. How are you today?
I'm doing awesome. How are you, Shayla?
I'm
Thank you for having
good.
me.
You're welcome. So Zachery, why don't you share what your username is on TikTok and a brief summary of what you post before we get into the questions today?
Sure. So my name is Zachary. I'm from Canada originally. I am a medical student in Australia. And on TikTok, my name is MDmotivator. And my account is about mental health awareness and giving people a voice.
Right now you have 448,000 followers, and I'm just curious about when did you get TikTok and when did you hear about it?
So like most people, I've heard about TikTok a long time ago. I thought it was cringy. I never would ever download the app. I follow Gary V, which is like a motivational speaker. He was speaking about it for a while. A ton of my friends who are in medical school and doctors, they recently got on the platform, and COVID happened, and I actually had knee surgery. So I was at home laying in bed, and I was like, what can I do with my time and like have a little bit of fun? So I downloaded the app. I was just one of those people who wouldn't like anything or post anything, but I just downloaded the app. And then one day I posted my first video and it went viral. And I saw that this platform could really reach a lot of people. And then once I realized the reach and the potential that this platform had, I recognized, okay, there's tons of memes, whatever, like clickbait stuff. I'm like, I can use this for good. So I figured, what better use than spreading mental health awareness? And that's what I've been doing.
So when did you post your first video and what was your first video of?
So my first video was not about mental health awareness. I posted it on May 6th. And it was essentially the same story that I use on my Instagram, which I go by the same name there, MDmotivator. And it was about how I failed out of college. I had a 0.59 GPA. My dean of my program said, Zachary, you can't do college. My dad said, move out. My mom, who's been a teacher for 20 years, lost respect for me. And I just explained how I went from that to now being in medical school. So it was like literally essentially a motivational clip of of my story. And I started this account when I first started, was posting like pre-med stuff and helping students get into medical school, which is what I do part-time, working while alongside being in medical school, is getting students into medical school. But I recognize that there are a lot of accounts doing that, and that material is almost oversaturated. And I didn't see a lot of people wanting to discuss mental health. Or there was, so when I failed out of college, there was so much more than just do the right things. Because when you're failing or you're not performing the way you want, you know what you need to do, you just don't want to do it. And I think when I started medical school here, I recognized that although I thought it was all this extrinsic motivation, there was a lot more than meets the eye, and that was very superficial. So that's something that I've personally experienced, and I know a lot of people experience, and I'm trying to help destigmatize and normalize.
So you shifted that content that was very specific to a specific target audience, and now
Mhm.
your content is more like motivational and general. And since you did that shift, have you seen an increase in your views and your audience?
Yeah, so the audience has shifted. It's more broad scope, right? Because anyone, universals, whether you're in Australia or the US, mental health is a thing. So even pre-meds, that's an important thing. But yeah, of course, since the scope's changed, the views and the reach has changed. So I was doing pre-med stuff for about 4 or 5 weeks. I probably had like 3,000 followers or 4,000 followers. I posted my first video about mental health and it hit like 4.5 million. Um, and then I'm like, okay, there's probably something here.
Oh,
And
wow.
over the next 6 weeks, my account grew by like 440 or 450, like to where it's at right now. Pretty much the whole growth has been mental health growth.
So the first video that you posted that got 1 million views, what was that video? I think you said it got like 4.4 million actually.
Mm-hmm.
What was
It
that
was,
video specifically?
yeah, the video was specifically about depression. And all my videos aren't like WikiHow or WebMD where it's like clinical symptoms of depression, anxiety, social anxiety. It's more of personal experiences or anecdotes or specific examples, because I recognized showing, not telling, is much more powerful for someone to read it and to resonate with, right? So I'm trying to break mental health down from that perspective. That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, I'm curious, when you had that video go viral and it reached like millions of views, what was that like for you? Like did you have your notifications on? Did you end up turning them off? Were you expecting it to go as viral as it did?
No, I never expected it to go viral. I was excited when I would get 7 likes in 2 hours. Like that was like where my expectations were. So not only was I overwhelmingly grateful and kind of just overwhelmed, um, it was a lot because the video that went viral is the video where people were sharing like they're 60 years old or 50 years old and they've been dealing with mental health for 40 years, or this video saved my life, or I shared this with my son who's been battling depression for 20 years. Like this was like real stuff, and it was just coming in like thousands of things, and it was so amazing, but at the same time it was a lot, right?
Yeah,
But I was extremely grateful for it.
for sure. And I've gone through your account, and obviously I follow you and I watch your videos. Once you notice that this is a topic that people are interested in,
Mhm.
you started to create a series of it, correct?
Yes.
So how many parts of that do you have, and how did you come up with all those ideas and things to discuss in your videos?
Absolutely. So as of right now, there's like 84 parts,
Oh
which
wow.
sounds crazy to just say 84. And as a medical student, like time is money and like I'm so busy. So I don't just like I post 4 or 5 times a day, which we can talk about later, but like I don't create them the day I post them. I will create them when I'm maybe walking down the street, or I write in my notes. I just at the gym, or a thought comes to my mind. Whenever a thought goes to my mind, I just start writing, and then I'll use my templates, and then I'll just put the text in, and then I'll just mass produce them at the end. But there's never like a 2 hour block in my day where I schedule for TikTok. It's when it comes to me or when I'm thinking about something, then I just write and
Okay.
then I post.
So do you write it in like the notes app in your phone, or do you like
Mm.
actually write it in like a notebook?
Notes app, and I actually probably do it most of the time on my computer because I don't like texting on my phone. But if I'm out, my phone. If I'm not, my computer, my notes.
Yeah. So you have all your ideas down, and so do you film them like back to back to back and just spread out when you post them, or do you post them as
Hmm.
soon as you finish filming them?
I no like so like I'll film like 80 of them over like a 2 hour period, like the templates, and then I'll post throughout the next 10 days. I won't film the same day I post them. I'll just do them all in like once, but like the writing happens sporadically.
Right. So you kind of just film them and then add the text. And how long have you been consistently posting 4 to 5 times a day?
Probably like 5 weeks now. 5 weeks, I'd say.
And is that when you like how many followers did you have 5 weeks ago compared to now?
30,000, 35,000. The growth has been, yeah. So there's a lot of talk about the more you post, the more you grow. True, as long as the posts are high quality. If your quality goes down, you're burning yourself out for nothing. So that's why I create these things, and I don't just like I'm like, oh my god, there's reach, and I'm gonna just start typing. And it's if I have the content, I'm gonna put them out. If I don't, I'm not gonna force it. So I think it's very important for people who are starting off or growing to know that. That's an important thing.
Yes. And because you're talking about like mental health and depression, do you like get a lot, do you get comments or DMs from people
Mhm.
sharing their story with you? And if you do you like respond to any people?
Mhm. I probably, yeah, like I was responding to every single one when I started this, but the truth is like, and I don't like when influencers people say this, but I genuinely get hundreds of DMs a day. So it's almost too much to keep up with. Um, but as many as I can, I'll always link out. There's a universal link. I forget, I have it on my phone, but it's for anyone battling mental health, whether it's depression, anxiety, bipolar, schizophrenia. Like there's links and resources, because that's the one challenging thing with TikTok is your reach is universal. So I can't put the suicide hotline in my videos because that's just for the US, or you know what I mean? Like, so there's a link that I link out to as many people as I can, because I'm a medical student, not a doctor. I'm not diagnosing, I'm not prescribing, but I
Right.
will give you the resources to go and seek the support you deserve.
That's good. And do you feel like, do you follow any other accounts that do similar content as you, or do you feel like you are new to this type of content on TikTok?
There's two accounts that I really, really enjoy. Jazz Thornton, she's from New Zealand, and yeah, she's incredible. And then Dr. Julie Smith, who's from the UK. And those are two accounts that post very similar content. But there's not any that I'm aware of males in this space. Because I think that's another thing too, is males don't have emotions, and more importantly, they don't want to speak to it. It's weak. So I think that's an important area of demographics that I'm trying to break down as well.
Right. And you bring up an interesting point. If you can pull up your analytics, I'm curious to know which countries and what gender
Mhm.
your audience is from, because you do have
Yeah, so
nearly 450,000.
yeah, so over 60% of my followers are from the US. And then it's like 8% like Australia, Canada, like that breakdown. But the crazy stats pretty much backs up what I'm trying to do, which is clearly not what it's doing, is 90% of my followers are females, and 10%, literally 90 and 10% are males. So that shows who the target audience is. But in terms of age, there's no age demographics, I think, on analytics. But from my experience, from like reading comments and messages, it spans from like 12 years old to like almost 70 years old. Like, but obviously different levels of experiences, perspectives of the continuum. But yeah.
Yeah. I think too, I mean, you have many videos that have gone viral. So even if 90% of your audience is female, I'm sure many males have still seen and come across your videos. And I think too, it's really important that, like you mentioned, even though there's not an exact age on analytics, which I think they should incorporate, you can just tell based off of your experience and the messages you have
Mhm.
received. Um, I'm sure it's cool and also nice that you're able to reach, 12-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, all different people that maybe didn't know that they needed to see your content or reach out and get that help.
Absolutely.
Um,
Sorry, I was going to say, I think the craziest thing is the videos do so well, and I never speak. If you look at my videos, I never say a word in any of the videos, and it's very purposeful. It's intentional. Like, 'cause it's like I don't speak because I want people to be heard. So like, no, people don't always want advice or be told what to do. They just want to be heard. They want to empathize, listen, validate, like very simple things, medicine or not. And I think that just sitting here with this same backdrop and just not talking, just letting them be with their thoughts or their feelings or their emotions is very powerful. Very simple too, which I'm grateful that it's resonated with.
so with that, do you ever like go live on your account? And like
Mm.
you do go live, like do you speak on your live streams?
Yeah, I'm not like a mime on my live streams. Yeah, of course I speak. I try to go live maybe like 2-3 times a day for like 5-10 minutes, because I'm from Australia, but I know different time zones. Like it's mid-afternoon for you right now. It's like early Sunday morning for me. So I hit different countries at different times, and I recognize like the community at different points. And I think that's a really important thing. If you're growing on TikTok, your goal shouldn't be how can I go viral. Your goal should be is how can I establish a strong community. And I think going live, having a voice, speaking with them, following them back, not thinking you're too cool to follow people back, and really establishing that community is great. One, for your growth. Two, if you're selling a product, obviously that's important as well. And for partnerships moving forward. So there's so much more than just, did my video get 10 million views? Because
Right.
of the FYP.
And when you go live, on average, like how many people join your live streams and like what do they ask you on your live streams?
Yeah, it depends, right? So like if a video is going viral, then obviously I'll get more people in the live, but it ranges from like 100 to like 400 people. Um, Common questions are like, say my name,
Yeah.
say Zach, if you see this, or like, you know what I mean? Like that's like a really common thing. A lot of times people share their stories, but one thing I really thoroughly enjoy with every live is I always try to do 2 or 3 comments of someone explaining their story. And instead of me saying blah, 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 if there's 300 people and I say, guys, everyone in the chat right now say, Shayla matters. Shayla, we're thinking of you. Shayla, we love you. And then they'll get flooded with like 400 or 500 comments, Shayla, 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 Shayla. And it's just, that's the beauty of TikTok and social media in a community that no other platform seems to have. And I think that is, yeah, I think that's why I enjoy going live, is for seeing that happen. And just, yeah, it's very, I love that part of it.
That's awesome. So I know you mentioned at the beginning of the call, when you were mentioning like the first video that you posted, maybe you could go into a little bit more detail about how you went from, you know, where you were before to now being in Australia and studying there. Like your
Yeah. So when I was in college, obviously, so I failed out of college, and then I got my school together because essentially I was an 18-year-old with no structure, a lot of freedom, not knowing how to study, not being surrounded by the right people, and very immature for my age, I guess. So I grew, and when I was in my undergrad, my degree, I was like, let me do an international exchange. I did it because I wanted to experience to come to Australia, but obviously to study. So I went to Melbourne, Australia, a school called Deakin University. I went there for 5 months with the intention just to like go there and then come back and then do whatever I was going to do after my degree. But when I came to Australia, I fell in love with the country, and I told myself, I don't want to just come back to study medicine in Australia. Ideally, this is where I want to live long term. So I came here with that in mind. So I did my degree, and then I had to do the test to get into medical school, which is called the MCAT, medical school admissions test. And then I had like a 12 or 18 month between, I don't know, like a year and a half gap between the time I wrote the test and the time I started medical school. And at that point, I'm like, holy smokes, I actually kind of have a story. Maybe I should share it on Instagram. So the first day I just posted my first year transcripts on Instagram, which shows my 0.59 GPA. I have F minuses on my transcript. F minuses are a thing. And I remember, I'll never forget, this guy, he sent me this essay right back in like a DM. And I was just blown away that he shared me his story, his academic experience, and like his life. He just opened up to me. And I was like, holy smokes. I'm like, maybe I'm onto something. So I started posting daily on Instagram. And then that snowballed, and I had a test prep company called Exam Crackers, which is one of the largest in the US. They reached out to me and they said, come work for us as their first and only MCAT mentor. So I took that opportunity because it allowed me to travel the US and speak at pre-medical conferences and reach thousands. So I shared my story, which I think related with a lot, because I believed in this. And I think this is really important if you're trying to give yourself a voice or connect with others. I've always believed in this formula: vulnerability equals relatability equals empowerment. So when I speak from failing, everyone can relate to that, whether you have a C or a B or a D, right? You can relate. So then you're going to listen. Nobody listens to somebody who's perfect because they never went through anything. So I think that is one of my most favorite experiences, was traveling, and then like the US to do that. And then when I came to Australia, I continue to do the pre-med stuff or like helping students get into medical school. But I'm like, vulnerability, relatability, empowerment, that can be so much more than just science, right? Like the mental health. Let's talk about that. So that's kind of how it morphed into that, and that's kind of my timeline.
So you had a following on Instagram prior to you getting on TikTok, right?
Right. Yeah. I had like 20,000 or 25,000 in like 18 months. But when I hit 25,000 in like 3 days on TikTok, I'm like, I probably should put my time and energy into this, right? Like that took me so long. So it's very undersaturated. Whereas Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, all those things gradually become oversaturated and not a good place to grow. But I've been fortunate enough to funnel a lot of, or not funnel, but like transfer a lot of my following to Instagram as of the past month as well.
Yeah, you almost doubled that just from, I'm sure a lot of people from your TikTok have followed you on your Instagram. Um, and I know you mentioned as well that, you know, you weren't sure about TikTok, you kind of were iffy about it. Looking back, do you ever feel like you wish you started sooner, or not really? Are you just fine with when you started?
I think you could always look back and regret decisions or indecisions of the past. I don't think that does you any good. Um, I'm just grateful that I started it when I did and that the videos are reaching the people that they are. So I have no regrets.
Yeah. And since most of your videos are positive and they're informative, have you experienced any rude comments, like anyone not being happy with you
Mhm.
for sharing your message at all?
Yeah, I've probably had like, believe it or not, so I've had like over like, I think like a couple 100,000 comments now. I've only from what I've seen, I've probably missed tons, but like 4 or 5 comments that have really stuck out to me. And I think it was more of people experiencing their own mental health and feeling like, um, I don't get it or I don't understand. And it's like a defense. So like I just responded with love because I can't understand, but I can only imagine that if you're commenting that on this video that you're going through something. So usually it ends. I've never escalated. I've always sent love back. So I try not. I don't get caught up in that though. I don't have any notifications on either. So because I'd go crazy if I did.
Yeah. Um, and just for people that have never seen any of your content, do you want to explain
Mhm.
like a few videos and topics that you discuss and what you discuss in them?
Sure. So, I discussed, like, so I said, mental health. Specifically, as of right now, where I'm at in the series, I discuss depression, social anxiety, and anxiety. And I like to speak about experiences, examples, and anecdotes of what one may feel going through one of those things. The videos have now been evolving or entering into coping mechanisms or techniques or resources to seek out, and more about, okay, we recognize we're not alone. This is how we feel, but what can we do about it? Because I think that I'm very fortunate the community's grown, but it's like now that's where it needs to go because that's the whole goal of it is to go and TikTok's not going to diagnose you. TikTok's not going to help you. It's going to give you the social proof to recognize you're not alone, to go and seek the support you deserve. So that's what my account's been about and where it's going in the direction.
And when you come up with your ideas, are they solely things that you come up with, or do you get questions or requests from people and you're like, oh, I should make a video talking about this?
Yeah, so that people request things a lot. I try to address some of the requests. And a lot of the times the most like comments are like, holy smokes, that's a really good example. That's a good point. So then I'll like go expand off of that idea. So I use people's comments all the time to evolve the content if I think it fits where I want it to go. Of course, it's not just me.
What would you say is like the average views on your videos, and how many have you had that have reached 1 million or more than 1 million?
I think the average view is like 100,000, maybe like 90 to 120,000. But that's the thing with TikTok, right? Is like you never know which video is going to pop unless you're Charlie D'Amelio, which everything pops. But like um, the amount of videos that I've had that broke 1 million, I don't know, maybe like 15, 10, 15. The thing is, I never like, so I think that's a really important thing for creators. It's like, you're only as good as your most recent video. I never get caught up in like engagement or views on my past. I just keep creating more, just keep making better, higher quality content. Whether your video did good or bad, just keep going. I think that's, I don't look back quite often,
Yeah.
other than the comments, which are important, but that's it.
I think that's one thing that holds a lot of people back is they'll have one video on their account perform really well, and then they feel the pressure that their next video has to do as well or even better. And that's not necessarily true. I mean, of course, it would be nice if every single video that every person posted performed really well, but it's okay if one video has 5,000 views and the next one has 10,000 and so on and so on. And I think
Like
that's a
over
good.
90% of the people that probably watch your videos isn't from your profile. It's from the For You page. They're not looking at the view comparison. It's just the most recent video. And I think if you have a video that goes viral, it's so important, right? To pump out a bunch of content right after, because that's like the time when you have the spotlight on you. So why would you, don't be afraid. This is your moment. So just throw it out.
And two, like when you do have a video, or not just you, but when there is a video going viral on people's accounts, you'll notice on your analytics that the surrounding videos and the new videos that you put out, you'll have an increase in profile views. And that's not necessarily
Yes.
because you're not getting on the For You page. It's because your one viral video is encouraging people to check out your other videos.
Exactly. That's extremely important for people to know, is that like, don't be afraid to post again just because you have a really good post. That's a sign to keep posting.
Yeah. Now another question I have, which I noticed, is you recently changed your profile picture, which a while ago it was like the emoji head. When and why did you change it to a picture of you?
I changed it like an hour ago. I changed it because I think mental health is more serious than an emoji. So I think that this suits my profile better personally. Not to say that the emoji was like, because it was like an illustration. It wasn't just like a random emoji,
Yeah,
which I think was good.
yeah,
Yeah, but I think that this um, suits more of a medical student role. And speaking about mental health and smiling, I think is very important as well.
yeah. Now, like, do you talk about your TikTok and what you're doing on TikTok with your friends and family members at all? Like, do they know what TikTok is? Do they know that you're on there sharing this message?
Yeah, a lot of my friends, like, they found out through having TikTok, or like I was at the grocery store last week and they said, "Are you that guy from TikTok?" Like weird, like funny things, but it's like um a lot of people don't accept TikTok. I think that's becoming more of the norm though, is that people are. I'm assuming, like, especially since COVID. Um my mom kind of understands. My dad thinks it's cool because he likes the business end of it, so like the reach and like the potential what TikTok has. But yeah, I just say I'm a medical student who's helping spread mental health awareness on this video sharing platform. That's pretty much what I say.
Yeah. And do you have like a goal? I know we're halfway through 2020. Do you have a certain
Mhm.
goal in mind that you would like to reach by the end of 2020?
Absolutely. So my original goal was to hit 100,000, then it was 500,000, then it was a million followers. And then once I've started growing the way I've been growing, my goal has not been about followers. Completely changed perspectives of what I want with this account. This account, my goal is to get as many people to have a voice and to be heard, and to share the videos as much with people as possible that need it, and to see people say this video helped my son or my grandmother or my mother, or seeing a duet that just it resonates with me. Someone who's like, I had a duet. I get like probably like 30 or 40 duets a day, but like there was one that was really awesome. It was someone who's doing my depression video, but in sign language. So reaching a whole nother audience that I never even thought TikTok could do. It was just like seeing I don't know, the reach and giving people a voice. So if a video gets one person through time, that's all I care about. I don't care about follower count anymore. I used to when I started this, but once I started seeing what it can do, my perspective has changed.
Yeah, but in a way, and I get that, and I think that's good too, because sometimes people just get really caught up in the follow count. But in a way, your follow count does contribute to you being able to reach more people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how many shares on your videos do you typically get? Because usually, if someone's sharing it, they are sending it to someone that they think could benefit from
Mm-hmm.
watching your videos.
Like I said, I don't check my analytics as much as I probably should, but like anywhere between 100 to like 20,000, or like 30, like a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm just scrolling through
it
right
depends.
now. Some have like 6,000, some have 13,000 shares, which is crazy because
Yeah.
people are watching this and they're thinking, oh, I have a friend or a family member or a coworker or somebody who could benefit from this. Do you feel like, does that put pressure on you in a way that or do you just see like the positive side of it?
Pressure. What do you mean by pressure?
Um, just that, like, because you do have people sharing their stories. Do you feel like responsible for, um, like what your next video is going to be and how you can help
Mhm.
people in a way? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Because like I said, this account isn't like a funny meme that 10 million people share. It's like who cares? It's a meme, right? Like it means to me a lot to me. And yeah, I do feel pressure, obviously, especially with the audience that keeps growing. But I see it as an opportunity that I'm very fortunate to have. So I'm not like pressured into like a positive pressure, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, so you mentioned that like a lot of people will do duets. I know you said a few times that you don't check your notifications, but do you ever go in and check your mentions and try to comment and
Mhm.
watch the duets that you get?
Yeah, that's the one thing that I try to even now consistently keep up with. Like I won't do it all day, but like I'll spend like 10 minutes at night and like go through the duets. Um, yeah, I try to comment on all them, individualized, like you matter, Zach, or you matter, or thinking of you, or if there's like something that was like really creative about it, I'll point it out, like to show that I watched it all the way through. I didn't just like it and just go out of it, like genuinely engage with their content. And for the most part, I recently been trying to duets that I think are good. I'm like, I follow them back. You're gonna duet my content, I would be honored to follow you back. So yeah, I think that's really important.
And has since like the few months that you've been on TikTok, have you had any like cool opportunities or interesting opportunities as a result of it?
Yeah, so I've had a few companies reach out in terms of partnering. I've recently done one with a self-care journaling app, which I personally been using for over a year. So having a company reach out to me for a product that I've been using that I didn't think they knew I existed, I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
So I released that and I put the link in my bio. If people want to download, it's there. Um,
What does that
but
do?
oh
Like,
yeah, so
what?
it's a self-care journaling app on your phone. So everyone knows they should journal their thoughts, but a lot of people don't do it. One, because they don't know how to do it. And two, it's like, I don't want to make time or just like life, right?
Yeah.
So this app is really good at gauging and getting you to feel how you feel. And I think that's why my videos do well, is because people are like, oh my God, you put my thoughts on a piece of paper. And I think that this allows people to put their thoughts into a paper. And if they're feeling sad, okay, feel sad. If you're feeling happy, feel happy. Just recognizing how you feel is very important, day to day and like moment to moment. And I think that this does a very good job at gauging it. And it actually is the first journal I think that uses artificial intelligence to really tailor the app to you. So check it out. It's called Reflect, and then LY. Yeah, so that was a really cool experience. But the coolest thing probably was getting a follow back from TikTok Australia, or getting a follow from TikTok Australia, and having them say, "We love your content, and would you like to do a newspaper article with like the biggest press here in Australia called the Sydney Herald about your account?" I think that was like the moment where I'm like, holy smokes, this content is helping people. And like it literally says, thank you, TikTok team. Like I was like, what? And just like I was blown away at that. So that was probably the coolest reach out I've ever gotten.
You have you written that, or is it something you're working on?
So I didn't write it. I just did like a phone interview with like the publisher. It was supposed to be released this weekend, but with the whole TikTok news in the world, that's been like on the back burner. So it's gonna get probably out in like a week or two once hopefully TikTok news dies over.
Yeah, that is still really awesome though. I'm sure that's like was pretty cool to see. Have you seen any other people or have anyone else reach out to you or follow you that was kind of interesting to you?
Mhm. Yeah, so Dr. Julie Smith, like I said, like she's like the gold standard for mental health on TikTok. She's over 1 million followers, verified, all that. And like having her say, I love your content, and then having her create a video, I think 2 days ago, of content that was like almost mimicking or very similar to mine. It was an honor, right? To like see like, okay, she likes what I'm doing and she's doing it herself. So that was a really cool thing to see.
Yeah,
Um,
I follow her on
yeah.
TikTok. I didn't even realize that. I was like, that name sounds so familiar. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, she's awesome.
yeah. And just before we wrap up, do you have any other anything else that you'd want to say to the people listening, maybe that you have to share?
Yeah, I think what we said before, like in terms of like not even about me or mental health or my account, but just anyone who wants to grow their account and who's serious about TikTok and using it for giving people a voice or whatever your goal is with your niche. Um, I think consistency is most important. And I think templatizing your content to simplify the production and be able to mass produce still high quality content that reaches is very, very important. And like the first month when I was posting pre-med stuff, every day I would do like a new trend or a new thing. And it'd be like, it would take so much time and so much thought and like for no value. So I think templatizing is huge. There was something else I was going to say that was really important. Oh yeah. Trends. I think you probably know this. Most people, I think people know this, but I don't know why people don't do it, or maybe they do, but I'm going to say it anyways. I don't ever hop on any trends, but I use every trending hashtag and I make the trending, like the top trending, just by using the hashtag. So you don't always have to get that content that's the trending, but you can use the hashtag. And I think that's important for people to know as well.
I use the trending hashtags. Sometimes people are like, why do you use it if it doesn't relate? And I'm like, it works. It gets your content out there. I did have another question that I didn't get to ask you yet.
Sure.
How and when did you find me on TikTok?
That was probably now what, like 5 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I think you were one of the first. And now I see like there's tons of people on TikTok who are talking about how to grow your accounts. But I think, so there's 3 that I really follow. It's you, Giselle, I think Jeff something. I don't know his last name. But
Jeff, I don't know how to pronounce it, but we follow each other.
Yeah, he's like a middle-aged guy. But yours first came up and I'm like, that makes sense. And like you were giving like good TikTok advice. I forget what it was. I'm like, because I was in the middle of just like originally just like figuring out how can I grow this thing. I'm like, that makes sense. And then I followed you and it's like your videos daily, like 2 or 3 or 4 of them, usually at least 1 or 2 relate. I'm like, okay, I can kind of add this or I can do this and just always make my account better. So it's like you provide so much value. I think that's an important thing is whatever you're putting out, make sure there's value because it's not about virality. It's about providing your community value and you do that daily. So yeah, that's why I've followed you from day one.
I agree completely. I think a lot of people focus on going viral and they don't focus on the value. And I think it's super important to have that. And I think it's cool that you came across my account and follow me.
Absolutely.
And it's cool to see everything that you're doing with your account. By the way, guys, if you missed it, his username is MDmotivator on TikTok. And that's also your username on Instagram, correct?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, so if you guys want positivity and all the amazing content he's discussed today, make sure you guys go ahead and follow him.
Awesome. Thank you, Shayla. Thank you for your time. And I hope this helps some people grow their account and give them the voice that they want.